Today we arrived in New Zealand. We landed in the airport and waited for about 10 minutes for our minibus to arrive to come pick us up and drop us off to our camper van spot where we rent our camper vans. I put a mustache over our camper van number plate, so yeah. After we toured our camper van, my dad finally got used to driving around in it, and we went to Countdown, which is the New Zealand version of Woolworths, and ate some sushi for lunch. It was very expensive, the groceries. And then after that, we drove by some sheep and cattle to where we would stay for the night. My family had chicken, but because I don't eat chicken, I had some just 2-minute ramen. We watched some TV, and I got to sleep in the loft, which is above where the driver sits. Otherwise, all the other chairs, which me and my brothers would sit down on in the car ride, would turn into beds. So that's where they slept. And yeah, that was our first day. On the second day, I woke up to some nice hot Milo, to where a random lady knocked on our door and told us that there was a baby fur seal outside. We went to go check it out, and it was just sitting there on a rocky beach. I think I saw a little scratch on its neck, but we weren't allowed to get too close to it. We had hot dogs for lunch, and it wasn't that appetizing, but it was still good. We drove past a seafood stand, and we had our lunch there. We drove by the beach and saw some birds and the waves and stuff, and saw some more seals. We saw a whole pod of seals. We even saw one just resting in between rocks, and there were a bunch of pups as well playing around with some tourists and stuff. We found shells and other stuff. Then we drove back on our thing, and yeah, we went to this Irish restaurant as well, where we met these two old guys, and we also ate carbonara for lunch. So in the morning of the third day, my parents had to call the Kiwi version of RSEQ. And then just because our aircon and something was leaking in the bathroom, I think. But yeah, we headed back to Christchurch, waited for about 3 minutes at the camper van rental spot so it can get fixed. And yeah, we were by midday, we went back on our way back to where we were meant to go, Lake Tekapo, and we drove past a field of lupin. We took some pictures, and then whilst my dad just parked on the side, a police car came and just chased him, so we got stuck there. I'll show you a picture of where we were right there. After that, we drove to Lake Tekapo, and it was so blue. The water was beautiful. We stayed there for a while, little bit, because it was so windy and cold. Then we went to this hot spring place by some mountains where it was really nice. We ate some wedges, and my dad tried to get a drone shot as well, even though he kind of got permitted there, something like that. We had some, I think, udon and ramen for lunch, and we went by this tiny church as well. So yeah, there's a little piggy at the bottom. We went to sleep after that. Okay, no, I didn't do a comic for this day, but I'll just tell you what happened. Everything was just boring on that day. We just kept driving and driving and driving. Pretty much the whole day was just spent sitting down in a camper van. Even though we did see some beautiful sceneries, they were the only highlights of the day. Our breakfast was spam and leftovers from Saturday, and we met some of my mom's friends. We were meant to leave at 1 to 11:30, but ended up leaving an hour after because of some reason. We had Domino pizza for lunch by a lake, and drove through a rainforest in the mountains and saw some snow on the top. There were also some goats, sheep, cows, and deers. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, so bye. Okay, no, I didn't do a comic for this day. I just drew a picture of the fish I caught on Lake, sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Maporita, where we went trout fishing with our fishing guide called Dale. We went to this restaurant called Snake, which was about 6 hours away from us. So we were on our way there to have some lunch. This was the last day which I actually recorded, like wrote down and kind of drew. So sorry about that. So on this day, we took a quick long drive to a river cruise place, which took 2 hours around and back. We went on this brand called and let me tell you, it was kind of terrible. Not saying that I'm not grateful for what my mom paid for us. It was just an okay cruise. Like, there was nothing too fun about it. I am really grateful that my parents did pay for it though, because it was a fun experience with them. And I did start liking black tea after that, but the food was gross, the boat was pretty gross, and the staff were just nice. But the pilot was bored out of his mind. You can hear his monotone voice through the mic. And that was just 5 stars sarcasm. For him anyway. Yeah, he was very sarcastic with the stuff he said. You can literally just hear the soul leaving his body. I don't know. We saw a pod of dolphins at least, which I only saw for a split second because my family decided to take a picture exactly at that time when the pod decided to swim away. After that, we took a 6-hour drive to the city and had dinner at around 10 or 11 p.m., which was like this burger thing. I don't know what it's called. And arrived at the campsite at around 1 a.m. So that was that day.